Hello and welcome to Warblog. Today we're looking at the Battle of Erbil, which is a part of the Kurdish-Iraq Civil War. The Kurdish-Iraq Civil War started in 1994, essentially between the PUK, which is the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, who were fighting essentially against the KDP, which is the Kurdistan Democratic Party. And Wikipedia states that there was fighting for about 2 years, leaving about 300 dead around the sort of the Iraqi Kurdistan area, and all about Kurdish autonomy in that particular part of the region. It's interesting really, because it took 2 years and they were just doing things, and I don't know much more about it than that. But so obviously there's sort of pretty unstable northern Iraq in 1994. But they have a CIA agent goes in there in January 95, a Robert Baer, who went to northern Iraq with a 5-man team and set up a CIA station. And I always found that quite odd. Obviously, every country has its secret service. There's a Wikipedia page of all the secret services and secret polices of all the countries. And I've often thought of writing to every one of them, offering them my services. I was wondering what the legality of that would be, given my skill sets, and seeing whether anyone wants to pay me. Because you would have thought that you would automatically then become a criminal somewhere along the lines. And when you think about it like that, the CIA are all criminals. I'm not trying to be funny, but they obviously are, because they go overseas and they commit crimes in other countries. So it's quite a bizarre concept, really. But anyway, he sets up this CIA station, and they make contact with the Kurdish leadership, who have essentially, they keep coming up with these plans to assassinate Saddam Hussein. And they come up with one plan to use 100 renegade Iraqi troops to kill Saddam as he passed over a bridge near Tikrit. And so Blair cabled the plan to Washington, but he didn't hear anything back. And it's a bit like is it Grenada? The one where the Americans, they've got a little base there, and they actually captured the leader, and they didn't believe it, and because they hesitated, the Grenadian government saved the leader, and then they had to go to full-scale war over it. But anyway, so they have this plan and they don't get it back. So on the 28th of February, this is 1995, so in January they have this first plan. They have another plan, and this one involves using, slightly before 28th, after 3 weeks, the plan was revised, calling for an attack by Kurdish forces in the northern Iraq, while Iraqi troops levelled Saddam Hussein's houses with tank fire. I wouldn't have thought that would be particularly effective. But anyway, so he wires Washington. It sounds like a bad joke. He comes up with this one plan. This Irishman, English and Scotsman in a pub, and they have this plan to blow up Saddam Hussein. So the Englishman wires, says, we've got the 100 renegade Iraqis to blow up Saddam Hussein on a bridge near Tikrit, and doesn't hear anything back. And the Scotsman says, got this great plan to blow up Saddam Hussein in his house with a bunch of tanks. It doesn't get back. And the Irishman, I don't know what the Irishman says, but it must be really funny. But so anyway, after that, the Irishman wires the Iraqi government with his plan, and he puts on the 28th of February, the Iraqi army is placed on full alert, and in response, the Iranian and Turkish militaries are also placed on high alert. And Blair received a message directly from the National Security Advisor telling him the operation was compromised. The warning was passed to the Kurdish and Iraqi allies, and this new information with this new information, Barzani backed out the planned offensive, blah, blah, blah. And that's irrelevant. The Iraqi army officers that were planning to kill Saddam Hussein with tank fire were compromised, arrested and executed before they could carry out the operation. And it's always sad when that sort of thing happens. I mean, not that I really know anything about them, but they had this plan and they all got executed, and that was that. And you would have thought the American Washington could reply to their cables, at least sort of saying, no, it doesn't sound very good. We don't deal with English or Scotsmen. But anyway, so that's that. And then following that, because basically they had this plan to sort of to attack and kill Hussein and Saddam Hussein, and but. So following that, they developed a ceasefire in 1996, in May 1996, and essentially, this was a year later, but basically, faced with the prospect of fighting both Iran and the PUK, I think it's the PDK. The PDK guy asked for the assistance of Saddam Hussein. Seeing an opportunity to retake northern Iraq, Saddam accepted. So who's this Masoud Barzani? I think he's something to do with the PDK. Let's have a quick look at what he does, just to put it into a little bit of perspective. Kurdish politician. So essentially there was a degree of autonomy in the north, so this wasn't a big battle that Saddam Hussein and the Iraqis were involved with up until that stage. And the CIA planned assassination of Saddam Hussein in '95 wasn't necessarily directly related to the Battle of Erbil, but following on these sort of events, the Kurdish, he is also the leader of the Kurdish Democratic Party, the PDK, since '79. He contacts Saddam Hussein and asks him for help. And Saddam Hussein accepts, and on the 31st of August he sends 30,000 Iraqi troops spearheaded by an armoured division. So that's what you got. You got the armoured division there, and then you got your 30,000 troops here. Notice they're all regiments. And he basically attacks the PUK-held city of Erbil, which is obviously that. Which is defended by 3,000 PUK. It mentions that there's some support by. It mentions in conjunction with PDK forces. So presumably there's some PDK forces, but I haven't put them in because, to be quite honest, I mean there's just so much here. It doesn't matter really. Maybe I should just for historic purpose, but it doesn't have any numbers for them. But basically that's that. I mean, there isn't anything more to it. There is actually a Wikipedia page on it, and it just says that Saddam Hussein attacked Erbil in 1996, and that's it. So this is probably the most authoritative source on the battle ever, for what it's worth. The attack stoked American fears that Saddam intended to launch a genocidal campaign against the Kurds, similar to the campaigns in 1988 and 1991. The move also placed Saddam in clear violation of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 688 forbidding repression of Iraq's ethnic minorities, etc., etc. In response, Clinton, the Clinton administration ran Operation Desert Strike, and they basically used some B-52 Stratofortresses to launch 27 cruise missiles and Iraqi air defences in southern Iraq, and then later on, other sort of air defences. So that's that. So we've got some air support. I mean, let's just not worry too much about that. Let's see what we can do with this tank spearhead. What's he gonna do? What I want to do, I want to do it as I enjoy doing it. I want to be a little more strategic about my deployment here. Oops, I can't do that. Okay, and we might as well start our airstrikes on the central base. Now, if you look at the if you look at Erbil, it's got this massive natural fortress. I'm not sure how much that played in the... we've got 2 hits. Very small. Okay. Now I have put all those units in the centre so that the Kurd player can then reallocate them as they want. So as you can see, there's quite a lot in there, and there's artillery. So I think the artillery, the first thing it really wants to do now, it could fire from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we could hit some of this artillery. And considering it's in there, I think we might as well do that. So what can we hit? Well, let's try and hit this one twice. 0.15. Ooh, 2.4. Well, that's good. And the rest, well, I guess we should maybe allocate some of this mechanised here and here. And put some infantry here, 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 and here, with 1 infantry left behind in support and this bit a little empty. Okay. So, we're spearheading with this, so we can probably move this. Let me get the drawing tool out. So I'm not sure what I want to do. I just want to sort of think, well, how would you approach a city like this? I mean, I could have just driven up this road and spearheaded straight through here, and you know, I'm not sure how you would approach a city like this, you know, in sort of hex format. But I think what I'm going to try and do is draw up a line like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 in reserve. Now he's been hit a bit, so I'm going to leave him behind. 1, 2, 3. Should have moved him onto the road. He's still got movement though. So he's going to sit there to recover. Now we're going to bring some air power onto these units. Okay, let's see what we've actually done. Got 2.8, 3.3, 2.8 and 2.6, so that's good. I think we're just going to try pot luck here. So we're going to 3, 6, 10. This could only be a 1 to 2, 2 to 1 or something like that, because they're going to be doubled in the town. I think I'm going to leave it for the first turn there. Also, they can't fight back. We've got some artillery, so let's fire some artillery down onto these guys. 0.15, 1.4, so you probably want to hold back. And now we've got the first element of these units. Now if I know they're going to come in that slow, I could maybe held back and maybe taken a bit more time to sort of maybe try and come up here and then push down on this side. But what much movement have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. What does that give us? It doesn't matter really because I've only got 15 seconds left. I could probably get all this into these 2 hexes here and then take this stack out here this turn. It's interesting. It's a good reflection of what's what. So hope you enjoy that. I'll speak to you later. Bye.